Hello. I am Learning Tech. In a real network, not every device is treated the same. Today, I build a branch office network where I enforce three different security policies using port security. One device is monitored, one is slightly blocked, and one is completely shut down. If its identity changes, then I simulate an attack by changing MAC addresses and showing how the network reacts in real time. So PC1 here is going to have restricted. So port security for restricted drops traffic from unknown MAC addresses and reports the violation. So syslogs. I'm going to do laptop port security protect. That drops traffic from unknown MAC addresses but keeps the port up and silent without no logs. And then I'm going to do shutdown on PC2. Shutdown places the port into error disable state when a violation happens, fully disabling it. It fully disables it. And how you fix that is you do shut and no shut to bring it back. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to start on changing the host names. Enable conf t. I'm going to change this to switch 1. And then I'm going to change this to switch 2. There you go. And then now I'm going to the router. Now I'm going to configure DHCP. DHCP is going to automatically give out IP addresses so I don't have to do it manually, static. And I am going to do the interface first. Interface G01 IP address. I am making this the default gateway. Then I will do the IP DHCP exclusive addresses 192.168.10.1, and I'll do 1.2.10. So what this means, IP DHCP excluded addresses, this just means don't give out addresses through 1 through 10. Keep those. Don't give those out. Okay. And then I'm going to make a pool, IP DHCP pool, and I will call it branch office. And then we'll do network 192.168.10.0, 255.255.255.0. The default gateway will be what I configured on interface G01. DNS server can be Google. That's okay. And then we exit out of that. Those configurations should be done on router 1. I'm going to switch 2. Switch 2, I'm going to do interface G01. Switch mode access. Switch access VLAN 10. So I'm having the PCs and the laptop in the network of VLAN 10. So VLAN 10 is going to be the network that they're operating in, and that's how they're going to get their DHCP through VLAN 10. and the router 192.168.10.1 is the default gateway for this VLAN 10. So I'm going to name the VLAN, and I'll also call it, so let's do VLAN 10. I'll also call it branch office. Now, F024 is connected to switch 1. So I also want to make sure that traffic goes through, and I will do a trunk. So I'll do a trunk, and that's looking good. Okay. Let's do interface F0 range F0 1 2 3. So I'm doing range, and I'm configuring F0 1 through 3 all at the same time. I'm going to do this. All be access points. We made VLAN 10 on there. Okay. And then I want to change the name on this again. Branch office. Okay, that is looking great. So now I got my VLAN set. I'm going to configure the PCs and the laptop into port security now. I'm going to do them individually. Now this is PC1 here. I'm going to do restricted. Switch port, port security. You have to enable that first. And then I'm going to do MAC address sticky. What this means is the MAC address that's on here, I want it to dynamically remember the MAC address that's on here. So when traffic goes through, it's going to memorize the MAC address, and it's going to stick to the table. Now I'm going to do something else here. And the only one I want it to stick and how many is 1. Only want 1. So if you're going to see later, when I change the MAC address, the communication won't work for the ports. It's because I'm going to configure this that it only remembers 1 of the MAC addresses. Okay, and then I'm going to do port security, violation, restricted on this one. Okay, then interface F02. Port security, and then I'm going to do, okay. Sticky, and then I'm just doing the same thing for all the interfaces. And then I'm going to do the port security violation protect. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to go to interface F03, switch port security, enable that first. MAC address sticky. Okay, now let's play with this stuff here. Everything should be working fine. Let's make sure DHCP is working. So if you see these IP addresses, they don't have IP addresses because the DHCP did not give them one yet. So let's go ahead and make sure they get one. So when you configure your DHCP, if you don't do it on static, you can do this, DHCP, and automatically it should give them a address. So this is the default gateway, like I told you about, and the DNS server. And when you go here to the fast Ethernet 0, you should see the IP address right here and the subnet mask. That's the subnet mask for the VLAN. And this is the MAC address. So when I send traffic through here and through port F01 for PC1 for an example, this MAC address is going to be remembered. And I'm going to show you. That's why I did MAC address sticky. Is going to remember this MAC address right here. That's what's going to stick to the MAC address table. Okay, do the same thing here. Yep, that worked. IP address, yep. And I'm going to put the IP addresses in there as well. Yep, that worked. All right, let's put the IP addresses in there. So this is 13. This is 12. This is 11. Okay, so now they all have MAC addresses. DHCP is working just fine. And let's start pinging. So I am going to ping the laptop, 192.168.10.12. That should work just fine, and it did. Now I'm going to do the laptop to PC1, ping 192.168.10.11. There we go. Worked just fine. That's good. This should also work just fine. Ping 192.168.10. I'll do 11 on that one. I'll do PC1. Everything worked just fine. So now, when I come to switch 1, let me clear some of that out. Here's the show commands I'm going to show you. So the port security interface, I'm going to show you in the port security address and the port security and the run command. I'm going to do the run command. Do show run. And you're going to see these interfaces here. And like I told you, with the MAC address sticky, this is what it memorizes on the MAC table. So F01, that's the MAC address for PC1. F02, that's the MAC address for the laptop. F03, that's the MAC address for PC2. So all that looks great. Now, because those are sticky, and you see the different configurations that I put on here, you have restricted, protect, and this is shutdown. So by default, if you just do switch port security, it's shut down by default automatically. Okay. When I go to PC1, and let's change the MAC address. So you can change the MAC address on your endpoint, or if someone unplugs it and plugs in a different laptop or a different PC, you have a new MAC address. So I'm going to change this MAC address. So I changed that one. I'm also going to change my laptop. PC2. Okay. Now you saw immediately when I changed the MAC address for PC2, this right here became red. That means it shut down right away. So the moment you plug something in and port security shut down, is on, the moment it switches the MAC address, it's going to completely shut down right away. Now let's see what the other ones do. I'm going to ping again. So I'm pinging 192.168.10.12. That's the laptop, and you're seeing that it's timing out. So I'll ping also on the laptop. And I'm pinging PC1. You're seeing that it's timing out. I would try to ping PC2. Obviously, that's not going to work. Because that whole port is shut down. Okay, so let's see what's really going on under the hood here. And I got a notification here that F03 has been shut down. Okay. So let's do show port security. So my port security is here, F01, F02, F03. How many MAC addresses that I have? 1. And then it says the violations that I have here. So F01, it's 9 because I pinged twice. I pinged the laptop and then I pinged PC2. So it's going to be a lot more than these because I pinged that twice. This is restricted, protected, and shut down. Now remember the definitions here. I'll read them again. PC1 restricted, drops traffic from unknown MAC addresses and reports the violation. The laptop, F02 protect, drops traffic from unknown MAC addresses but keeps the port up and silent with no logs. So it like drops the traffic, it doesn't really tell anybody, keeps it secret. And then you have shutdown, places the port in error disabled state when a violation happens, fully disabling it. And we saw that it fully shuts it down completely. Let's go with the other show commands. Do show port security address. Let's do that. Now with the MAC sticky, I'll go to PS1 for example. PC1, sorry, excuse me. PC1 for example. 2180, that's what I changed it to. Okay? And now when you look here on switch 1, it's 2181, and that's what was saved with the sticky, secure, sticky, port secure, sticky. These are all on VLAN 10. So all this information is here. You can also do show port security interface F01. Port security is enabled, so that's good. The violation mode restricted, excuse me. See, it will tell you everything. The total MAC addresses, maximum MAC addresses that I want on there is 1. How many violation counts does it have? 9. Just like what it said up here. It says the same thing right here. I am going to do the other ones for 2 and 3. Let's look at those back to back. So this is 2 right here, and there we go. There we go. This is 2, this is 1, 2, and 3. So you got 2 is also enabled, protected. Total MAC address is 1. Violation counts 0. Remember, it doesn't keep track of it. So it silently just drops the traffic, but it doesn't keep the count. Now this one is shut down, and it's saying violation count is 1. And it makes sense that it's only 1 because it shuts down the port completely. No more traffic is coming in or out. It just completely shuts it down. Okay, now how we fix that is we have to make sure we put this back of the proper MAC address. And we have to do no shut. We have to do shut and no shut. Okay, so we come back to the switch. We got to make sure the MAC address is correct. So F03, the MAC address is supposed to be BEE5. So if we come back here, let's make that a 5. And you see the port did not come up yet. So we actually have to manually go in and configure it. Interface F03. We do shut. So administratively down. So that's good. And then you do no shut. And we're back up and running. See how it turned to green? Good. And it's up. So let's also change these MAC addresses back, and let's get everything functioning correctly. Okay. So this should be C. This should be 1. And everything should be working back to normal. Okay, so let's ping everything again. We'll ping PC1 to the laptop. There we go, we're back up. Do the same thing here. Let 13 ping. PC2. Ping PC1. And there we go. Timed out at first. Took a while to think. And then we're back up. So that is my topology. Branch office. This is really good for security. Thank you for watching.